freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to 2023 SHOT Show from fabulous Las Vegas. I am one of your hosts of Gun Freedom Radio, and
I'm the other guy, Dan.
And we are excited to catch up with two of our most favorite people. This is Charlie Cook of Riding Shotgun with Charlie and Writing Shotgun with Charlie. Hold the thought, we'll come back to that. And John Petrolino, awesome John Petrolino, who writes for Bearing Arms, as well as Ammo Land News, and he is the author of Including Firearms, an amazing book. If you don't have it yet, as soon as this interview is over, go find it and get it bought. All right. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So, in Las Vegas, you know, they say what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, but when you're journalists, right? Sure that happens.
Sure.
When you're journalists, when you're podcasters, our whole goal is to share what's happening at SHOT Show in Las Vegas. Don, let's start with you. What is your goal for being here? What are some of the great things that have happened since you've been here?
So it's been a really great networking opportunity, meeting a lot of new friends, meeting up with old friends too, of course.
Old friends.
That's not what I meant, like old
Friends who are old?
previous friends that I've already had, as well as stately ones, and making new friends and new contacts. So a lot of really good work is getting done, and I feel I'll be feeling the fruits for months to come. And I definitely have some stories. I'm going to have some stories that I'll be pumping out based on this. I'm going to be doing some beer reviews. That's something I haven't really dabbled a lot in, and we'll see what happens.
Fantastic. Did you say this was your first SHOT Show?
This is my first SHOT Show, and it was also my first industry day at the range. So I would say that I was overwhelmed, but I came with the expectations of it being overwhelming. So what was the word that we used? It was just whelmed. I'm moderately whelmed. I'm not underwhelmed or overwhelmed. It's just right, yeah.
I love it. That's great. Wordsmith that you are. And Charlie, what have you been out in the
stagecoach? I did borrow a stagecoach, and I did get an interview in today. But everything else has been connecting with people, trying to go to some seminars to learn some new things, and reconnecting with people and connecting with new friends, making some new people, and expanding the circle of friends.
That is fantastic, and that is really, I mean, for me, SHOT Show, I get so filled up and fed with friendships and connecting with people, and those happenstance things that happen in a hallway. You're walking down the hallway, going to your next thing, and if you keep your eyes up off your phone long enough, you'll bump into somebody, or somebody will introduce you to another person, and it really, I
Oh my gosh, yeah. The last couple of years have been tough.
Talking about an opportunity, I had a dream last night about Charlie.
What?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now I'm scared.
Okay.
Right, this is an
Get the
exclusive.
editing
Holy
button
moly.
out.
So riding shotgun with Charlie, right?
Yeah.
He came to the show with one of those little pedal cars that two people could sit in, and he was riding people around the aisles, doing interviews at the SHOT Show.
Do not give him any ideas.
I want to be the first one, okay?
Of course, let's do it, man. Let's get it. I thought about getting like the little jazzies, right?
I
Riding
love it.
jazzy with Charlie.
Oh my God.
That'd be so much fun.
That's fantastic.
What I think is, remarkable, I came up with a new rule. So here we are, we're in the media lounge, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a rule. Okay, we're going to go to the media lounge. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I'm going to get a drink. And here's the rule. You walk into the lounge and go straight to the coffee. Because when we came in this morning, we didn't get into the lounge, and then you stopped, and then I was in the middle of the meeting, and then I was in the middle of another meeting during the meeting. It's great. We're running into everybody, and we're networking, and a lot of brainstorming, getting a lot of work done. So if you legitimately want a cup of coffee, you have to go straight to the coffee and then come back, right? Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to leave, it's like leaving an Italian family's party.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we're leaving soon. Okay, so I've got 40 minutes. I'm gonna get another plate of food. We've got 40 minutes to say goodbye.
Well, she's not Italian, but when we go to an event, I tell her as soon as we get there, say goodbye.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'll only be there 2 hours.
3 hours later,
That's right.
then we're actually. So then I alluded to the writing, right?
Yes.
Shotgun with Charlie. Tell us about that.
So writing Shotgun with Charlie is on, it's on Armed Lifestyle magazine, and what I do is I repurpose shows that I've done, and then I reconnect with people I've had to get an update on what's new, what's exciting, what's new happening with them, and I write an article about the whole thing and recap one episode, and I put the other episode on the YouTube channel as well, and that's on Armed Lifestyle magazine. And
That's Travis Swanson.
Travis Swanson, yes, from the Swanson Media Group. And so that's another outlet. This was really nice. He contacted me last fall, early in the winter, whatever, before SHOT Show. And he says, hey, listen, what do you do with your shows when you're done? I'm like, go to the next one, like, set them up and knock them down.
Is there something we're supposed to do?
Right,
Send them to the Library of Congress.
right. So he says, what, have you thought about repurposing the shows and writing an article about them? I'm like, no, I haven't. So we came up with the idea of writing Shotgun with Charlie and going back and talking about the shows.
I love it. And Dan and I have had the honor of not only writing Shotgun with Charlie when he came to Phoenix one year, but also being in one of your episodes. What do we call it?
It's a column.
A column.
An anchor column.
An anchor
This is
column.
Anchor column
It's
of
like-
the Armed Lifestyle magazine.
An anchor, because I'm holding them down.
That's great. Oh my gosh. Now, one of the things that's so special, I think, about this industry is that, we are colleagues, we are associates, but we truly are friends. Like one time, I'm getting text messages with pictures of these two knuckleheads in Disneyland because they know that I'm just as much a knucklehead for Disneyland, right?
Yes.
But he didn't do riding with Charlie in the cars.
Oh, what was your idea? The Toad's Wild Ride?
Right,
Well, you
yes.
can do an interview. If I'm ever in California and you're there, we're doing it.
It's on. It's
We'll
on.
do it. I'm telling you, we're doing it.
We can do it on like the Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Right, people are screaming, shouting, lights are flashing. What's going on? I don't know.
So, John, talk to us about books, coding firearms. What drove you to write that? What is, did it have the success you hoped? Is there another book coming out? Like, give us the whole story.
So, Decoding Firearms, I wrote it kind of on a whim, to be honest with you.
That
we
is
talked-
more than a whim kind of a book. My
Right.
goodness.
So we talked about this, a couple of years ago when the book first came out, and I was working on editing somebody else's book. They had something that they were working on, and at the same time, I was writing a class to teach. So while I was doing all of that at the same time, I was like, it would be great if I had a handout to give to my students.
It's a handout.
During the class. So when I gathered together all of the information that I wanted to put in the book, I'm like, okay, this is good. And I started pounding it out. It turned into a 266-page book with 115 plus original, illustrations and stuff like that. And as far as the success of it is, I just did it to do it, and now it's out there in the wild. My sales are pretty good. I'm pretty happy with numbers. I'm always looking to push them out there. So
Always.
if anybody's also gun stores, trainers, things like that, definitely can hit me up, and I would love to get copies out there and for sale. And as far as decoding firearms, the next generation, I don't know. I've thought about a couple of different ideas, and I'm not sure what's next. I have a couple of ideas, so we'll see what happens.
What main things do you write about? You write about, you said you don't really do reviews, but maybe this is going to be a whole new avenue for you. But
Right.
what do we find in your columns when we go to Barrington or AMMcon and find your firearm?
Yeah, so I do a lot of heavy on the policy, heavy on the litigation, heavy on the legislation. So I cover a lot of that stuff, but I also like to cover the human interest stuff. I like to cover the stories of the people. Also, like for example, somebody might be having problems with their YouTube. The perfect example was the recent one with Gabby Franco. Gabby had her LinkedIn photo taken down by LinkedIn because it was so scary, right? To me,
She's
that
only a highly trained professional shooter, right?
I know, right?
An Olympic shooter, and the presence of a gun in her photo is just too upsetting.
So to me, that was a story, but it wasn't a story just because it was a story. It was a story because this is a professional in the industry that's doing this and being picked on, so to say, by big tech. So I like to cover the human side of things as well. At least I try to.
People probably can't tell from your accent, but you do come from New Jersey.
From Jersey.
So you have lots to write about. I know you and Teresa AMMcon, who's also a DC Project lady, and she's been highly involved in the legislative process.
Sure.
The two of you have worked together on a story.
Yeah, well, Teresa is a perfect example. When she went down to Trenton, was not last year, the year before, I believe, to testify against some bills, a package of bills, her testimony did not get recorded. So her full 2 minutes of her speech conveniently didn't get recorded.
And did any of the people testifying against our gun rights, did their recording mysteriously?
No, she was the only one that did not get recorded, and she was the only female that was a proponent for gun rights or for liberty and against the legislation.
I'm
So she was the
sure
only,
it was just,
yes.
microphone failure.
That happened to me when she tried to tell me something. I just
Selective deafness.
What?
Yes.
Right. And I've gotten zero back from the actual legislators who are in charge of that committee, too. Like the committee chairman is such a snot that he never replied to any of my correspondence. And I did get a couple of responses from some of the other current committee chair members, but the head, he did not respond to or acknowledge this. And I did put in an open records request, which is like a FOIA. And the legislative services did say, indeed, it did not get recorded. So, right. So, and that's a story that I would like to follow up with, again, with them. But again, the legislators, they don't want to be, nobody wants to take responsibility for it. And I feel AMMcon's owed an apology, that's her recording that did not get out there. And that's now removed from our history.
Yes, exactly.
And this was one of the original 13 colonies, 13 states. The Constitution, all that rewarding that period, and make it more.
Well, it's like Alan Gottlieb always says, it's the first to ratify the Bill of Rights, but they're going to be the last to respect it.
Crazy.
Nice.
So Charlie, coming back to you, you tell the stories, you help tell the stories of the people in this industry, and I want you to talk about that, but especially standing next to somebody who actually does write for a living. Until you have writing shotgun, Charlie, you haven't written any of these stories, and yet you were named the Blogger of the Year.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah, so my deal is I wanted to put the stories of the people out in video form because I think it's easier to digest and my spelling is atrocious. So that's kind of how it came about, how I started the show. And I want to interview people that have stories, and we all got into being firearm owners for different reasons. And our paths are all different, but they all lead to the same thing where, hey, this is important, and we have guns for various reasons, and it's not the same. And I want to get those stories out, right? I want the non-gun folks. I want the non-gun folks to join our side, and I want them to see that we're just regular folks, just like everybody else. Like, why would we be any different? And I started putting shows out, and I'm like, I don't really know what to put in for like the show description on YouTube. And then I got the Blogger of the Year in 2019. I ran around for 2 days, and I'm like, Blogger of the Year? Didn't write a word. And then I connected with AMMcon, and I said, hey, would you guys be interested in putting my shows out? And they're like, yeah, you got to write at least 600 words for the SEO. And I'm like,
Actually, right.
yeah, and I'm like, oh man, this is tough.
when you have to do it, it's hard.
It is, and I hate saying it feels like homework, but it's yeah. So there's I obviously I'm there when I film the shows, and then I go back and I edit the shows, and then I go back and get show notes, and then I go back and do the time stamping and everything, and it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's all over to have the opportunity to get these stories out and become friends with other people that are down on
So
others.
how does that sound to you? He gets Blogger of the Year award, and you're over there slogging away on your keyboard.
Well, I mean, how
Uno momento, por favor.
Well, 2022 was a good year for me, actually. I did take in the San Diego County Gun Owners Pact Media Figure of the Year. And then the
Part of the reason is there were some stories, there were some shenanigans going on in California, and John's like, I'm going to write about this, and I'm going to call these guys out. Yeah.
So I went to the mattresses with some of them, and did some calling out on them, and then also in Gun Rights Policy Conference, Blogger of the Year 2022. So
I've got them both right here, baby.
Yep.
I love it.
And that was a huge honor. Both of those awards were huge honors because it's making me feel like, you know, not only is the work maybe getting out there, but, you know, people that are colleagues and friends and, you know, other advocates are seeing some value in it. So,
Well, you know there's some value in it when you walk in the door to get coffee, you keep looking at coffee.
Yes.
That's how you know there's value in it.
You know, seriously, when you think about it, I mean, I come, you know, I'm Cheryl, whatever, I carry her luggage, whatever. But when I'm walking down the aisle and somebody comes and says hi to me that I don't even know, or a lady says, you know, we've been listening to your show for all these years, put more out. It's amazing that just that little voice is doing something. You know?
This is something I absolutely love, and this is unfortunately nothing that pays the rent.
Right.
But when you go up to someone, you're like, oh, hi, my name's Charlie. I'm writing Shotgun Show. Like, oh, yeah, I've seen your show. Yeah, I know you are.
Well, and Charlie does something besides the writing Shotgun with Charlie and the writing shotgun. He also does something musical, right? That involves the percussion of a Glock. I don't know
The
why
glockenspiel.
it's specifically a Glock, but talk to us about that and which came first.
Oh, the gun grams. So I call these gun grams.
Gun grams.
And the gun grams came first. It was one of these things where I had a friend of mine suggest to me. He's like, I spent years gigging and playing in a Motown disco funk band, and he said, you know, when you go back and you talk about your
When I
gigging days,
think Motown disco funk, I
probably
think
don't think
Charlie.
white guys, right?
I totally think Charlie.
Play that funky music.
He was a white boy, exactly.
right.
So this was, you know, he says you get that look in your eye when you talk about your old gigging days. So he said you should try to find a way to put music and guns together. I'm like what? He's like, you should play the dun da 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 da, boom 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 boom. I'm like, that's ridiculous. So I went home.
So I'm doing.
Yeah, I went home. I worked on one-handed reloading and everything, and I did one of those in 2014, and then I did more of them in 2015, and put them on my social media. Started a YouTube channel for that, and then I have people all over the world reach out.
And you went viral. You went viral.
I had Alien Gear Holsters took one of the gun grams and put it on their Facebook page, and it got 5 million views in 3 days. So that was pretty cool. That was oh my gosh, that was Winter Wonderland.
Was it really?
Yes, the Second Amendment Foundation, after my first year at Gun Rights Policy Conference, they wanted to know if they could put a couple on their Facebook page. Oh, of course, why not? Right? So Adam's Family was the first one that got 1 million views. Then it got one. And Chris Hardwick used one on Comedy Central, which was the Mario theme.
Oh, okay.
And then this was in like October of 2016. And then Alien Gear Holsters put Let It Snow, right? Or no, yeah, Let It Snow is what it was. And I used a Glock 19, and then I put that in the holster, and I took out a Walker P22, and then I put that back and brought the Glock back. And I did it in the middle of a snowstorm, like legit, the snow is up to my knees. And I told my kids, I'm like, I'm gonna go do this, you wanna come with me? They're like, no, Dad, there's 1.5 feet of snow, we're not going on that crap. So I like it, it was great. It's a snowstorm, legit, and I'm out there with my trumpet and a tripod and a music stand, trudging through the snow. For you know, 1 minute and 23 seconds or something crazy.
We do these things. But here's one of my favorite things about it. So just as right now we are speaking to you from a camera across the way, this is what Charlie is shooting towards, right?
Right,
And
yes.
you'll actually have people ask you,
Yeah, they're like, who's holding the camera?
right? Like as if tripods don't exist.
Right, I always tell my ex-wife.
Oh my God. Oh, joke.
It's a joke.
Joke.
It's a joke.
All right.
But I do have to pay her life insurance.
There you
so-
go. Yeah. You want to tell jokes about me? Right. My life insurance. That's fantastic. No, that's great. Guys, I just value you both so much. I love our friendship. Every time I see John anywhere, he calls me darling. Why does he call me darling?
Because when we are done here, we're going to go to the website and we're going to binge listen to our heart's content, darling.
Darling. Exactly.
And that's how it's going to go down. Right? Because you're
Where at? On what?
Gun Freedom Radio.
Right. Especially when you're on YouTube, you're on Friends, you're on Friends. And then you can go to the website and you can binge listen to our heart's content.
See?
And
He's
how to
got
find
it.
So
He's
tell us
got
again how
it.
to find you guys.
Yeah.
I have whole bylines at Bearing Arms, at AMMcon, a couple other publications all over the place, as many as possible. But you can find me directly at thepenpatriot.com. Social media, The Pen Patriot on Facebook, J Petrolino III on Instagram. Linktree is J Petrolino III. And here's the other thing: if you guys have stories, ideas, there's things going on, you have an idea that needs to be written about, there's an atrocity going on, government abuse, anything, big,
Like,
little.
there's plethora of that.
Right.
I want to hear from you, so you can email me at john@thepenpatriot.com.
Fantastic. And the book?
Decoding Firearms, available at Amazon, or you can go to the Gun for Hire range in Woodland Park. Their website, they sell it as well if you don't want to buy it from Amazon.
Fabulous. And Charlie?
People should subscribe to the Writing Shotgun with Charlie YouTube channel. I put the shows out on YouTube, on Ops Lance. I put them on Gunstreamer. You can find the articles that I write, my writing, on AMMcon. That's where I put the shows as well. You can find Writing Shotgun with Charlie on Armed Lifestyle Magazine, and you can download the show in podcast form if you prefer to listen to the show that way. I think that's it. I'm trying to keep up with you.
I don't know, you got social media. You got all that
Instagram.
stuff.
Oh, that's oh, on the IG, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to find the Gungrams, if you just look for GUNGRAM, you find us on the YouTube as well.
Love it. And so people can binge read to their heart's content all of John Petrolino's and binge watch to your heart's content, darling, for Writing Shotgun with Charlie Cook. Guys, thank you so much. We just love you both so much. And,
Always a pleasure hanging out with you.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Absolutely.
appreciate you guys being on. All right, stick around. Lots more coming up from fabulous Las Vegas, darling, on Gun Freedom Radio.